Günaydın sevgili izleyicilerimiz. Hannover Fairs Turkey'nin yeni hizmeti, Connection Days dijital etkinlikler serisinin ikincisi, lojistik, enerji ve tedarik zincirinde dijitalleşme konferans yayınına hepiniz hoş geldiniz. 2 gün boyunca connectiondays.com web sitesi üzerinden birbirinden değerli katılımcıları, ziyaretçileri ve kanaat önderlerini bir araya getirecek olan etkinliğin açılış oturumunu yönetmek üzere Hannover Fairs Turkey Fuarcılık Genel Müdürü Sayın Alexander Kühnel'i davet ediyorum.
Good morning to everybody. Welcome to our...
Welcome.
Is it up to me now? Shall I start now?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning to everybody. Welcome to our opening panel with the subject Staying in the Game with Digital Transformation in the New World Order. A very warm welcome to our 3 panelists, Andreas Grucho, Vice President, European Chapter UFI, and as well, Board Member at Deutsche Messe AG in Hannover, Stephen Young, President, Bosch Turkey and Middle East, and Kudlu Karavegliolu, President of Turkish Machinery. Today, we will open our second Connection Day, our digital event with these great experts, which gave tremendous contributions into their sectors. After a successful event in June this year, we will have again great and prominent names which will talk about digital transformation in logistics, energy and supply chain that stands out with the pandemic period and the changes in the future that awaits us in that journey. In those 2 days ahead of us, our precious speakers will give an insight to what happens in our lives. How ready are we for the new world? Digitalization has undoubtedly forced all sectors and companies to make a change. With a new way of life, companies which are ready to adapt themselves to transformation go on without hesitation. On the other side, sectors and companies which are not ready for the digital world cannot be part of the transformation. We as individuals are forced to change our competencies as well. So how ready are we for the cultural change, transformation, and work in the new world? At this point, I would like to give the word to Andreas Grucho. Andreas, once again, thanks a lot that you are joining us today, especially for Germany. It is a very early morning. Thank you a lot. During the pandemic, Andreas,
thank you very much, Alex.
Let me ask you a question. During the pandemic period, there is no doubt that the service sector took a big hit. Especially the physical exhibitions and conferences were harmed really a lot. How do you think the new dynamics of the fair industry develops with digital projects? As well as we are all aware, consumer and customer behavior were also changing with what time brings. So how ready are they? How ready are we? Andreas, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alexander. A very warm welcome from Hanover, so a very warm Hoş geldiniz from Germany. I would have loved to meet you in person, face to face in Istanbul, but we all know it's not the time for doing so. And that is why we meet here digitally at the Connection Days, the second edition of this. We had a very good starting point beginning of this year. And we thought we would have a very dense schedule on our venue in Hanover, and we would look forward to many shows abroad, many in Turkey, in Istanbul, etc. But it didn't work out like that. Since beginning of March, we didn't have the chance for a physical event in Hanover due to the lockdown which happened and which we are facing still then right now. So before COVID, the world of exhibition was, I would like to say, very simple, because we had the huge and even smaller events, physical exhibitions where we all could meet face to face. That was the reason why I showed up so often in Istanbul, for example, meeting you at our World of Industry, the Wind Show, Sodex, Automechanica, among many others. And all the different exhibitors, being exhibitors with their nice booths on our shows, of course, they had parallel their web pages where customers could meet them and collect information digitally. But since the beginning of COVID, the world has changed a lot. So now we have many hybrid events or just digital events as the Connection Days. And UFI, in my function as being the chair of the European chapter, by the way, UFI conducted a huge customer questionnaire this summer about the customer, let's say, opinion about what the world of exhibition is going to be and what COVID means for any changes in our industry. We had a huge databases, more than 9,000 customers in the meaning of 9,000 exhibitors have been asked, did you participate already in a digital events? Half of them said, yes, I was a part of a digital event, and I will definitely participate in the future, as we all do now during this Connection Days event. But as well, all mentioned, of course, any physical event, meeting customers face-to-face is more intensive, and that is why we are desperately looking forward to having physical events as well as soon as it will be allowed. But there will be definitely a different type of events in the future, because during this pandemic, the digital techniques, as this technique we are using for this Connection Days, will be improved a lot. So definitely the future will consist of more hybrid events. What does it mean? Because customers say, during this UFI questionnaire, I would like to be back on stage in physical events like immediately after COVID. Others, like a quarter of them, mentioned maybe in 2 years' time, but just 12% of them responded, I won't be back on stage in the same size as I was before COVID, but I will definitely use digital techniques to get access to my customers. And many customers, many exhibitors, many companies develop their own internet, let's say websites, pages, contacts to customers, etc. So hybrids event will definitely combine the strength of both worlds, physical exhibition, also forums, platforms, etc., maybe award ceremonies, but also digital elements. This definitely will be the future of the exhibition business. And the benefit of digital platforms like the Connection Days compared to just individual web pages of individual companies is that these platforms like the Connection Days is a neutral one. So you have access to more customers as you would have compared to be just an individual company with your own internet pages. We will have forums. We will have discussion among the different panelists. So for customers, for visitors, for participants, it's a way broader platform compared to just step into the websites of individual companies. That's why we built a hybrid studio in Hanover, so-called the Hub. That is why we built Media Factory with different digital studios on our venue in Hanover. So definitely the future will be hybrid. And as long as we are not allowed to meet physically, the future will be digital as we meet digitally during these Connection Days. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Andreas. I think by being here together with that Connection Days, this is already the proof that we are in the middle of the future. Thanks a lot for your contribution.
Welcome, Alexander.
My second question goes to Stephen. Stephen, once again, thank you very much for being with us. With the pandemic, companies had to revise their digital transformation timeline and accelerate them. Which projects were pulled forward in Bosch? In addition, in this period, the smart cities of the future and the sharing economy together with mobility are among the prominent concepts. As Bosch, how do you interpret the future in the age of digital transformation? How will our business skills, competencies, and abilities to be agile in the future. Stephen, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex. I'd like to join Andreas in saying good morning, günaydın to you and all the participants on the online today. And thanks for having me. Look, this is a huge change we're going through right now. Yeah, and the change is not just in our technologies and services, but it's also in our corporate culture and the way we work. So I would just like to take you on a brief journey, the Bosch journey, regarding digital transformation and the impacts of that in both our corporate lifestyle and also our normal lifestyle. Basically, Bosch, which started back in 1886 in Stuttgart, and then later on, invention of the spark plug, became the world's biggest automotive supplier company worldwide. And we have over 400,000 people. So in the last century, we've more or less shaped the way people have been mobile through cars and trucks and various other vehicles. Now, the world has changed and we want to also lead this change. And our next 100-year journey will see Bosch transforming from an excellent technology and services provider to a globally leading IoT company. And this journey started for us more than 5 years ago. To be specific, we started autonomous driving in cars without drivers, all the way back in 2010. The motivation there was to prevent vehicle accidents. Vehicle accidents were the cause of 1.2 million deaths per annum. And 90% of these accidents were due to driver error. So we wanted to take that out of the equation and make sure we had safe mobility. But not just that, that also led into smart cities, as you just mentioned, and then smart workplaces, smart homes, and so on. So the digital transformation for us started almost a decade ago. However, the impact of COVID is that it proved and it confirmed that we're on the right track. As you can see now, we're all 9, but we're still together and we're able to perform. And it accelerated the whole process for us. As far as the working culture is concerned, it has also showed that we need to be a lot more agile and we need to have more flexible working conditions in the way we conduct our business. A, due to this technological change, but B, we also have a demographic change. We have Gen Y. Gen Y's values are totally different from baby boomers, for example. So we need to take that into consideration. And there's another generation following Gen Y after that. They like to work more flexible. They don't want to be 9 to 5 in the office all the time. So basically the technology allows for this change as well. Now, let's go back to mobility, autonomous vehicles, and where digitalization is right now. There are 5 stages before a vehicle can fully drive itself under all external conditions. We as Bosch, we're up to stage 4. So basically by 2025, we should be in a position where all vehicles, light commercial, passenger, heavy duty, doesn't matter, should be able to drive themselves under all conditions. And this will be a significant milestone in the history of mobility. We say it's as a big change as the invention of the car itself, more than 100 years ago. So I think this is going to be a huge milestone. But of course, it's not just the car. We're talking about an ecosystem, smart cities, and providing a solution to the end customer, the consumer. So we're talking about applications. We're talking about being able to rent cars. We're talking about cars which will be shaped like a shuttle, and they will have different teams inside. We will have mobile working offices as cars that we can rent for hours, for one day. So again, flexibility is going to be the key to the future. Regarding the way, of course, in this flexibility and the technological transmission with the digital world, the biggest basis of all of this is software and artificial intelligence. And here, I think if you are not into this area, then you are going to be missing the boat. So therefore, this is very important. And even during this time of pandemic, we were still employing a lot of people for Bosch thousands of new people in this area, in coding, in software, and in artificial intelligence. So you can see that we are committed to the future of these technologies. As far as our working culture is concerned, we don't have offices anymore with dedicated workspace where if you are not in the office, your space stays vacant for 8 hours or 9 hours. We have things such as desk sharing, what we call in Bosch inspiring working conditions. You can work from anywhere. We have business lounges. So all flexibility, as long as you are connected, as long as you're able to get online, you are in your office. It's as simple as that, and that's the way we treat it. Let's look at some of the mega trends. Yeah, there are basically 4 mega trends that we have as a navigation map, let's say our roadmap for the future. 1, connectivity. We will see that by the year 2030, 125 billion things, smart devices, will be connected with each other. This brings up a huge economy of more than $15 trillion of investment, and it will have, just by 2023, 3 years away, 2 years away, 570 billion euros worth of market volume already. So, second, urbanization. We know that people would like to live more in metropole areas, in big cities. So we estimate that by 2050, 70% of the world population will be living in large cities, such as Istanbul, where I am right now. Demographics. We see that people age 65 over are growing twice as fast as any other age group. So people are living longer. This is good. This is very good. But we'd like to ensure that they have a healthy life. So healthcare and digital technologies in this area. And finally, energy and climate. The need for more fresh energy, clean energy, and this Green Deal is very much part of that. And this is on the agenda last few weeks. And of course, the climate as well. And how will Bosch get there? We have a 3S strategy to realize our targets. Sensors, software, and services in the cloud. So basically, Bosch has been producing sensors since 1993. It started on your bumper when you're parking. It was assisting you. Beep, beep, beep. I think we all know this. And now we have sensors in ovens, in every part of our life. Software, I just mentioned that. We have 27,000 software engineers working for Bosch right now worldwide. And services, Bosch has established its own cloud so that it can provide to its customers and stakeholders all these services in a secure and a very responsible way. So putting all of this together, I think finally what I can quantify in saying that by 2025, we have a specific target. We say all our products, all the way we produce our products, must be artificially intelligence enabled, meaning that these technologies we provide will be more eco-friendly, will be more energy efficient, and will also be a lot more fun. You know, Industry 4.0 and all these sort of things will enable producers to have much more flexibility in the way we produce products, and we present it to our customers, our consumers there as well. So I think digitalization is very important, this change. Finally, what I can say is, of course, it brings a lot with it, a transition in our skill sets. So there will be some jobs which will sort of, phase out, but new positions opening up. So if you are in the age group of, let's say, between 35 and 50, let's say, during this transition, it's highly likely that you may need retraining to adopt to new jobs that are opening up. And here I think there's a lot of responsibility on the individual itself, on the companies, and also in the governments or the economies which are run by the countries as well. So this education is something which is also a prerequisite for that age group during this transition. But all in all, I think all this transition is going towards making our life safer, is going towards making our life more eco-friendly, and it's also going to make our life more higher quality of living and fun to live with. So I think The fact that we can host this event online right now, in despite of what's going on around us, I think it's a great proof. And congratulations to you and your team for going ahead and hosting this. And I think that this event will also continue to provide some value add to the people that are with us right now. On this note, I'd like to thank you for your invitation and wish you a very successful event, Alex.
Stephen, thank you very much for that insight of Bosch Vision. Now, by looking on the screen, we are 3 people in the boat. Let's take the 4th one in the boat to follow your words. Kutlu, welcome once again. By coming to the end, I would like to sincerely, my mistake. Dear Kutlu, with the digital transformation, machinery and machine parts are changing within themselves. Connectivity and data extraction from the machine are important in future technologies, as we just learned by Stephen. What do you think awaits the machinery industry in the new world order? How will be the future of the machinery industry be shaped after the pandemic? And of course, where does Turkey stand in that dynamic digitalization process? Kutlu, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Alex. It's good to be on this boat with this skillful crew. United to everybody connected. We are missing to be face-to-face. We are missing Hannover and the services offered by Hannover Messe'ler. Some may know, before pandemic, our exporters union was participating in 24 foreign exhibitions every year. More than half were in Germany, mostly in Hannover. We, the machine builders, machine users, do not consider the exhibitions as business platforms only, but a huge ground for social events and relations. We like not only to touch the latest technologies, but to the designers, to the manufacturers who are mainly our competitors. This is why I think that virtual exhibitions will never take place to industrial fairs, especially in our machine business. Yes, machines are transforming everything around them, industry, services, agriculture, everything in human life. They are sensing, they are seeing, detecting, deciding, they are learning and optimizing their duty, while changing themselves accordingly. They are changing our lives, some to better, some to worse, but we used to their comfort, we need them and their development to achieve results which seem impossible very recently. So machinery business will keep its biggest share in the world's production and trade forever. Before coming to your questions, Alex, please allow me to give a brief information about Turkish machinery sector. This may help for interpretation. When we say Turkish machinery industry, we point out a sector of 30,000 manufacturers with 420,000 employees, which is exporting 60% of its production, sending 55% of them to EU, sending 65% of them to Europe and North America, having 6th largest manufacturing capacity in Europe, achieving 6th highest local value content among OECD members. With the aid of this great capability, our machinery manufacturers hold 11% share in Turkish total exports, ranking 2nd after vehicles. Germany ranks 1st among our customers with 14% share. US ranks 2nd with 8%. The amazing modesty and quietness of the sector is coming from its power and wisdom, and from the nature of technical people, and from the nature of SME structure. Let's come to the industry, transformation, new world order, etc. We have been observing a transformation due to digitalization for about 10 years. Sensor technologies are developing, machines are becoming smarter, processes are becoming leaner, and factories are becoming automatic but quiet. This process is creating new industrial developments and relationships, but new and considerable social problems as well, mainly because of dehumanization. Technology companies from the US continue to dominate what is happening on the digital platforms. These are primarily consumer-oriented products. Germany, some EU countries, and South Korea are taking a different approach. With Industry 4.0 and similar programs, they are seeking an answer to the challenges of digitalization in the industrial sector. There is another giant that is taking big steps in the battle for a leading position in both the traditional and digital industrial sectors. We must keep an eye on this one. Unfortunately, there is no order in the digital world yet and won't be soon, but the fight for it is continuously rising, increasing, and in some occasions or places, it becomes very brutal. The example of 5G and 6G, which is enormously important for machine connectivity, has sparked a strong discussion and also a battle in parallel. In the areas of cloud, data extraction, cybersecurity, there are open points and discussions and will not be settled in the near future. Here, the position and role of Germany and the EU is highly demanded. There must still be an alternative to the US and China. Europe must reformulate and reposition itself in this area. Of course, the pandemic has a very strong impact on existing supply chains, on consumption habits, on the definition of real needs, etc. And this will for sure have consequences. The future of machinery industry will not only be influenced by the consequences of the pandemic, but will also depend on the progress of digitalization, climate change, and environmental conditions. Number or complexity of all these different factors will be decisive about the future of machines and machinery sector. But machines have to compensate the burden they created, they reasoned on the nature and humanity. This will be a primary concern through the transformation process. We are at the beginning of the digitalization process here in Turkey. Of course, we have tough companies. They are very progressive and offer intelligent products and solutions like Bosch. But fundamentally, when we consider the huge family, we are only at the beginning. 2 years ago, the Ministry of Industry and Technology developed a digitalization concept. We have actively participated in the preparations. The focus of this concept was and still is on the mechanical engineering industry and the manufacturing sector. The establishment of several centers for digital transformation is intended to remedy this situation so that companies can develop themselves in necessary branches or disciplines, also including additive manufacturing and robotics, and remain competitive. We thought we were on time, but realized immediately some earlier attempts with some German partners whose results could not come out yet. So we are still on time after 2 years, working very closely with various engineering clusters in Germany, such as OVL in North Rhine-Westphalia, such as WIMAS in Saxony. While coming to the end of my speech, I have 3 short announcements, if I have still time. I would like to emphasize our partnership and cooperation with the Technology Academy, which is a company of Messe AG. Just last week, we had a virtual event with over 100 participants from Germany and Turkey. We set ourselves the goal of further intensifying these activities. We will work on a Turkish branch. Secondly, as Turkish Machinery, we also prepare the glossary for digitalization, which will be published shortly. Our aim is to make our members and users aware of meaning of terms and processes so that they can communicate and benefit for their own purposes. This glossary is designed in 3 languages, English, German, and Turkish, and will have a dynamic content and will be enriched in parallel to the technical literature. And finally, we are starting a new project with the Middle East Technical University, a European project on the digitalization of enterprises. We are establishing a digital innovation center in Ankara. The aim is to develop a guideline and to present practical examples. That's all for me. I am thankful for the attention and the patience. I wish you a very successful event as well.
Good, you. Thank you very much. What I learned in the last half hour, Deutsche Messe AG is in the boat, Bosch is in the boat, Turkey is in the boat. That makes me really very happy. Once again, thank you very much to all of you. By coming to the end, I would like to sincerely thank as well, not only you, but as well our sponsors and of course my team, which made Connection Days happen. Please do not forget to join our 3D booths, where Turkey's important logistic, energy and supply chain suppliers service providers are going to be there for all your questions and project solutions. Also, please use the network rooms where you can chat with the experts and have time to exchange ideas for the future business ahead. Enjoy the connection days. Kolay gelsin, iyi günler, teşekkürler. All the best, my friends.
Thank you very much. Teşekkürler.